Right, sorry folks if this one's going to sound a bit rushed and lazy, but I've just tried to record this and it's completely fucked up and it's completely failed, so I'm going to try it again. So this time I'm going to speed run through things instead of taking it slowly like I usually do, so you'll have a shorter video, but I can't be asked doing it all again, please excuse me. I'm pissed off. Right, so the first half was off to an absolute disaster as two silly mistakes in defence cost us dearly, but the drive and determination never dropped as we soon found ourselves level again thanks to some lovely work from Ched and a repeat of the Burnley goal, but with Brown as the centre of attention this time, as told at the stadium, but it was actually Andrew Hughes. So hopefully we didn't falter after that, but of course that's me writing at half time. And come the second half, for the opening minutes of the second half, we looked ready to rumble and knock out a few more into the goal, but you know, with the close misses, but the momentum soon lowered, the attacking slowed down, and Millwall knocked in a third, dropping our confidence further for them to knock in a fourth. Before we go any further, round of applause for Zian Fleming, absolutely unplayable yesterday, and Ched Evans was very good as well. Looked like he was going to score a few more times, but unfortunately just some very poor misses. But oh well, this is the most shots we've had in any game all season, I believe. Probably the most we've had all season. But 17 shots, 4 on target. Again, the 4's not good enough, but that can be improved upon. They had 6 with 4 on target, and what you know, all 4 they took were the ones that scored. But this is another example of a game where we had the most possession and lost. It's almost as if we don't want to have the possession, but oh well. In terms of the gaffer's reaction, I'm not going to show it because on the last attempt that we had to record this thing, he didn't have to say much apart from we should have done better in areas and whatnot, and he said that Ched came off due to injury, not due to performance. So if that clears something up, then there you go. But there wasn't actually a lot to read for the gaffer's reaction, so we'll skip over that. In terms of Millwall, again, Zian Fleming, brilliant, well deserved his hat-trick. And of all people, Charlie Cresswell, of course, had to score against us. And if you don't know what I mean, of course, his father used to play for us, so for his offspring to come and score against us, it's almost as if it's like destiny, but we all said that before we left, and it obviously came true. In terms of our lineup, of course, we had no Whiteman again, so we replaced him with Ledson, everyone else as normal. So yeah, everything looked fine and dandy, I had no problems with that. In terms of player ratings, I'm going to give my own because I didn't agree with Blank's live. Woodman a 5, he didn't have to do much. Story a 6, he did what he could. Lindsay a 5, he did what he could, but some errors, of course, and our only one booked. Hughes a 5, he did well to go forward, but his defending wasn't good enough. Potts a 5, he did good going forward again, but made some strange passes. His crosses into the box were good, but he didn't do much else other than that, even though he had plenty of chances. Sorry, Mike. That's the first time we've hit Mike since we've labelled him. Right, there we go. Let's put it back in place. That's the first time we've hit him since we've labelled him. So, yeah, sorry, Mike. But Potts, he had plenty of chances to run forward, but he didn't, so that's unfortunate. Ledson was awful. Well, he wasn't awful, but he wasn't as good as he usually is. I'd say a 4 or a 5. Brown were a 5. He didn't have that character that could have drove us further. More on that in just a moment. Brady a 5 or a 6. He did well. He did his part. McCann a 6. Evans an 8. He did fantastic, and it's a shame he couldn't score more. And Reese a 5. He needs to find his footing. So yeah, that's what I think about the lineups. In terms of my points to make, is that Reese, the refs were better than usual, but they were still shit. The lineup was especially shit towards the town end. Reese was absolutely no effort to make a challenge in terms of headers or sticking a foot in. He never has, and he probably never will, and that's a big problem. There goes Mike. There goes Mike again. We'll move him over so I don't smack him. So yeah, Reese needs to start challenging more for these balls because it's one of the more important things you can do when you're that far forward, to take the ball off him and have a go. But there are plenty of chances maybe he could have had a goal, but none of them came to fruition, unfortunately. Ched was our only striker with proper attacking. The defending was questionable at times. There was inappropriate substitutions made, and we were static when we was not in control of the game, almost as if we'd given up and gone back to the training field. So there's plenty of things to work on. Obviously, there's a big ask to do in January, of course, but that's down to the board and writing, not down to us fans to keep clamouring about. So let's hope something can be done, because we definitely need that clinical striker and those attacking midfielders. The defending is fine, but today we was a bit switched off as a whole, probably because we lost that desire and that characteristic from those up front. So hopefully we can get our characters on field sorted out as well, because that's what's letting us down quite a bit recently. But in terms of our pros and cons, we showed resilience. We had good efforts at goal. Evans was back to business and a good turnout, all things considered. And for our cons, we conceded far too many. The teams let each other down more often than not. We lost our heads when we needed them the most. We couldn't stop Millwall's attacks, and we played like we were on the training field when we were behind. So of course, that's a lot to take in like, what, 3 minutes or 4 minutes of speaking. I apologise for that, but, you know, I don't have all the time in the world today, so that's unfortunate for me, and of course unfortunate for anyone who is interested in listening to these things, but what do I know? I'm just another arsehole on the internet talking shit about Preston North End. So, yeah, that's about the gist of things that I was trying to say in the previous recording attempt. There's a lot we need to sort out. We have no character on the pitch when we're behind, and when we're in front, or sorry, when we're level or in front, we don't seem to be taking it seriously enough. So there's a lot to be done in January in terms of getting those clinical players in and sorting the characters out. But besides that, we're all good. Everything's fine. One loss isn't the end of the world. Of course, we've moved out from 6th place now to go to 9th place, almost as if we swapped with Millwall and just a bit further. But it's not the end of the world. Like I said, we're still drawn on points with Swansea, QPR and Millwall. It's basically joint 6th place. It's simply because of the goal difference. We concede more than we score, and that's the basics of it. Of course, it's nice to see that we're scoring again, but to concede so many as a result of scoring, it's not worth it, because if we can't keep hold of the point, what's the point in even scoring a goal? I'd rather have another 0-0, because as long as we can walk away with a point, we'd at least be joint 5th. Maybe, of course, we'd be 6th place, but it's still playoffs. We'd be in same position we were against Reading, so I haven't a problem with the loss today, because we're still in a comfortable position. It's just, can we keep going? Because if we take this loss too hard and we come back after the break without any motivation or desire left in us, then it's going to be the fucking end of it all, because there's not much we can do after that. But it's not my call to make, of course. It's down to the board, it's down to Ryan, Riddler and everyone else on board. But what can I say? All I can say is, don't be too disheartened by this loss, P&E fans, because I've seen loads of people on Twitter going back to their old slating ways. Don't do that. That's the last thing these lads need. Of course, it was a poor shift, but we're still in a good position. So until we start dropping below 12th, then yeah, that's maybe when it's time to start complaining. But this table at the minute is so tight-knit, so it's unfair to call the shots at this moment in time. But yeah, I can't complain. I think we did all right, all things considered. It's just a shame we lost our heads. But anyways, I'll stop me rambling. Thanks again for watching. I'm sorry it's a short one, but I just don't have the desire to make it longer again. But yeah, so if you're wondering what's going to happen during the World Cup, I'll be making World Cup videos about England, of course, because I don't support Iran or anyone else like that. Tunisia, whoever's in the World Cup, I don't know. Fucking Senegal. But yeah, we'll be making England videos, World Cup watch. We'll be assessing the England games just like we assess the North End games. And as soon as they're knocked out of the tournament, we'll go back to North End videos if there's anything to talk about. If not, it's a hiatus for me, so that's good. But anyways, yeah, thanks again for watching. I appreciate it all, as always. So yeah, thanks once more, like I've said a million times already. And I'll see you all in the next one. Sorry, it's short. World Cup's around the corner. Is it coming home? No.